for the notification to go on out. I am late tonight. Let me get this open. All right, y'all. We're going to give people some time to come on in. I'm sorry. I'm opening up my chapstick. My lip balm. And while you guys are taking your time to get on in here, don't forget that if you're a part of the Patreon community, that the readings, hey Tosh, are gonna be up on Wednesday for the following week, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the tarot reading on Wednesday. So today is Monday. We're doing the astrology check-in. We taking a look and seeing what these planets are doing. I'm going to be focusing on the pattern that's in the planets right now. We got a lot of Uranus energy in the planets, so we're going to break that down and what that looks like for you and what you can see happening in your relationships, okay? All right, so we're going to give people a few more minutes. I wish I could play music on here, but if I play music on here, then I get blocked or flagged. And I don't need to get flagged. So I can't monetize. All right, so today is April 4th, right? So we're in the 4th month, the 4th day. We're also in year 2022, which is year 6. So we're dealing with your willpower, your creative or your destructive power. So this is the year of your creative or destructive power, your willpower. And you're going to have to learn how to really begin to deal with your emotions as well as deal with your mental capacity, right? So a lot of people right now are not doing well mentally. Y'all know what's going on in the internet with the award show, right? So we have a lot of people right now that are not doing well mentally. We have a lot of people right now that may not know how to manage their emotions with what's going on just collectively in the world, okay? I'm going to start breaking this energy down about 5 minutes into the video. I don't think I'm going to be on here too long, y'all, because I'm definitely... That's why it took me so long to come on tonight. My shoulders felt off today, and I've been doing a lot of stretching today. I went to see the chiropractor last week, so new muscles, new alignments is going on. It is not the most comfortable thing. All right. So for those of you that are doing playback, right, today, once again, is April 4th. I want to say in the next 45 minutes, what you're going to see happening is the moon placement is going to be swapping over from... You'll see that swapping over from Taurus into Gemini at about 11:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, okay? So right now, the moon is in Taurus as I am live, but by the end of this live, we will be in Gemini, which means the energy as far as the emotions are concerned for the next 2.5 days for the collective all around the world is going to be changing, okay? The goal of these videos is I have been drained too, Tosh. I have been drained and tired. And I'm also feeling like I'm releasing a lot of things. Are we going to get into the release? Okay, we're going to get into the change versus being stagnant energy, which is the liberation energy coming through Uranus, or aka Aquarius's energy. But you have to be mindful because that energy can be kind of emotionally detached, which works depending on what you want to get done. But sometimes it doesn't work depending on where it's placed or what placements you have going on in your personal natal chart, right? So keeping in mind that energy is fluid. So when I explain this energy, it could be you interacting with the energy. So it could be the people or the situations that you're interacting with, okay? So I'm going to break down to you exactly what's going on and how you can apply this to your daily life. The goal here as I do this is to know that you are responsible for your own experiences. No one can take that away from you unless you give them the power to do so. And the way that you give someone the power to take your experiences hostage is by giving them your emotional well-being to control, as well as your mental well-being to control. Okay, so the goal here is always to maintain your emotional awareness of yourself, know what your triggers are, know why you're triggered. That's going to be important also if you're moving throughout this energy, as well as not allowing anyone to limit your growth in this process. Okay, this is not about judgment. This is really about you understanding that everybody's interacting with this energy, and not everyone is mature, or not everyone is doing the work like you are. So keep that in mind. Okay, all right, so let's jump into this because we are 5 minutes in. And once again, for those of you that are doing playback, we're going to do the tarot portion of this energy on Wednesday. And if you're part of the Patreon community, you're going to find the other, the more in-depth tarot reading there on Wednesday also. Okay. All right. So currently we have the sun is showing up in Aries. Okay, so this is going to be a month where you're stepping into your self-awareness. We've been through this from since the 21st. We've been talking about this Aries energy. Aries is your first house. That is your house of awareness. That is your house where life becomes more, I want to say, where you have more of an idea of who you are and what you want your life experience to be. Okay, Aries energy represents your body as well as your spirit, but it also represents new beginnings. So if you are new to the channel, you need to know that we have just entered a new zodiac calendar year. Okay, so not necessarily the Gregorian calendar year that starts in January, but the zodiac calendar year begins with Aries. So we are now approaching a new year. So when Aries comes in, it gives you an opportunity for you to show forth who you really are, who you want to be. Push that energy forward of who you want to be, or the story that you want to tell as we move through the next 12 months. Okay. Now, with that being said, Aries is ruled by Mars. Okay, that can be a wonderful experience if you're taking responsibility, or it can be an experience where it's very argumentative. It can be an experience where you feel like you're butting heads with people, or you're butting heads with the situations that you want to resolve, or you're butting heads with your dreams or your aspirations. Okay, Mars is known as the planet of assertion, war, and action, but it can also bring in passion, right? So what I'm going to teach you through this energy is how you can apply this energy to your daily experiences, and how you can begin to see patterns in how people move throughout this energy, so you are not triggered. So even if you are triggered, one, you know that you're triggered. Two, you know why you're triggered. And three, you can choose to do something different than allowing someone to emotionally control you, or to be someone emotional puppet. Okay, so with that being said, Mars is also known as a planet as competition. So within this month of Aries season, you can find that people that are lower vibrational, everything is a competition to them. And we're going to get into how that is playing out also with the Aquarius energy. So you're going to find that people, you can find competitive people. You can find that people are on their fight or flight mode because there's this like survival energy for some people. You can also find that people are stepping into their strength because the energy from Uranus is bringing in this sense of freedom and liberation. Okay, Mars energy, or this Aries energy, brings in a will for you to take action. There's a will for you to move forward in things, right? It's also requiring you to be daring, for you to be courageous. And for some people, it turns on your sexual nature, your sexual drive. It can make you tap into your sensuality, your sexiness, right? Aries is masculine energy, so it can also bring out a more masculine aspect to people that are experiencing this placement in their charts. Okay, so you need to know that also. We're dealing with energy here where apparently, you know, war type energy all over the globe, but we're not just talking about external war. We're also talking about spiritual war. We're also talking about your vitality here in the energy where you can either resolve conflict through tapping into your passion, or expanding conflict with arguments. Okay, So that's just the energy we're in for the month. For the month, we're in energy where you can deal with people that's competitive, or you can deal with people that are passionate about something and they want to take action and move forward, or people that just want to argue about shit that is just no longer worthy of your attention because of all of this Aquarian energy in the atmosphere. There is a lot going on with the Aquarian energy. So let's just take a look and see where Aquarius is placed and what that means to you as you move throughout this energy, okay? So we're in a season now, right now, with this energy where you're either going to change or you're going to be stagnant. The energy's asking for change. You have Aquarius placed in Venus. You also have Aquarius placed in Mars. That is important. It's kind of like the yin and the yang energy, right? So Venus is all about love and pleasure, and Mars is all about assertion, action, and war, right? So you got the balances of both energies, the feminine and the masculine energy at play. And Uranus energy is coming in, or Aquarius energy is coming in and saying, you know what? I'm not sure I really like what's going on over here when it comes maybe to how I look. So you can find that people with Uranus, Uranus, you're gonna hear me say Uranus as well as Aquarius, and they're interchangeable, right? Because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Okay, so what you can find with Uranus sitting in Venus, people may want to change their hair. They no longer, feel the freedom by long hair. They may want to put braids in. You can find that you want to change the way that you look. You can find that people want to switch up their romance. You can find that maybe you're not so attracted to this person or to the situation the way that you thought you were. So it's going to come in, the Uranus energy or the Aquarian energy is going to come in, and it's going to bring forth some type of change. And dependent on if you've been feeling stifled, depending if you've been feeling stifled, what you can feel with the sun in Mars, what you can feel with Uranus is you are going to be rebellious to anybody that's trying to restrict you. You're going to or you're going to encounter people that feel like they have to be rebellious because you're trying to limit them, right? You can also encounter in this energy where people, hey, my lovely Carlina, how are you? You can find where people within this Venus, Uranus energy, people may feel like they're more superior than you intellectually. And they don't really have to deal with all of the lovey-dovey stuff because Aquarian energy can be very emotionally disconnected. So you can find that Uranus and Venus is calling you to review some of your relationships, and it is also going to call you to be friends with your partner. So this is not an energy where you're gonna have peace in the relationship if you're not friends with your partner. You're gonna find a lot of energy where you're reevaluating things. You're gonna find a lot of energy where you're paying attention to the aesthetics, right? Not so much the deeper part of the person, but maybe the outer appearance, right? You're going to find that you're paying more attention to the possessions, or, right, because Venus also rules Taurus and Libra. So you can begin to see that you want to break free of the imbalances that's in your life with that Libra energy, right? Now, it's important for you to know because Libra rules marriages, it rules spouses, it rules maybe you wanting to travel, take trips, maybe moving abroad, overseas, right? So you can find within this energy, okay, that there is change happening in your marriages, in your relationships. And I'm going to tell you right now, with the Uranus placement or the Aquarian placement in Mars, you are going to find difficulties within friendships. And this can be long friendship, 20-year friendships, right? This can be newfound friendships. You're going to find that there can be difficulties in communicating with your friendships within this energy. So be mindful of that. Be mindful that not everybody is going to be reacting to this energy the same way. Some people are not open to the change that's being called for them right now, whether it's emotionally, mentally, or physically. Some people right now mentally just can't deal with the energy at large, right? Some people, especially because of this Uranus energy, some people are just detached emotionally right now because the Uranus energy is asking them to change. And when change is needed, you can't really be too emotional. Sometimes when change is needed, you need to know what you need to do emotionally and then get into that masculine aspect of yourself and do what's necessary physically, right? So you have that masculine energy in play through Aquarius, right? All right. Through Aquarius, you have masculine energy at play. Aquarius is a fixed energy, right? So it's coming in with that fixed type energy saying, we need to make a change. What's the change here? I feel oppressed. I've gained insight on this new love that I'm feeling for myself. I'm gaining insight on this old love that I don't think is working for me anymore, right? You can find within this energy too that some people are just not sexually aroused. That's just not what you want to do in this energy, especially if you're reevaluating the relationship and this is not where you want to be in this relationship. You can, especially women, you can find within this energy, if there's something going on within the relationship and you and your partner is having a problem right now, sex is going to be the last thing on your mind. Okay, so you need to be very mindful of that. Problems and conflict that's supposed to be dealt with in this energy is going to come to the surface for you to deal with. All right, so you need to be mindful of that, because that is going to come to the surface for you to deal with. It's going to bring in the change that's required. Right now, here's where it can get tricky, right? Because you also have Aquarius sitting in Saturn. Okay, it gets tricky because Saturn Saturn is a timekeeper. So Saturn keeps receipts. Okay, Saturn keeps score. Saturn is all about order and structure. Saturn is also the planet of authority. So you can find, if you're having a situation at work, you can find there's a pushback with that energy where you're having conflict with your boss, right? You feel limited, right? Or you feel confined to whatever the rules are, right? And you want to break free from them. And Saturn deals with rules. Saturn deals with you being able to do the work. It also deals with tradition. And Uranus does not do well with tradition, right? Uranus does not do well with tradition. Uranus right now is saying, fuck your tradition. Fuck the way that you do shit. I'm not really trying to hear the way you do shit. It's time to do shit. The way that you do shit is outdated. So please understand, right? Where the planet, where Aquarius is right now in Saturn, and Saturn rules authority and maturity, right? It is also the timekeeper, so it's going to pay you for what you put your work for. Whatever you put your energy towards, whatever you put your emotion towards, whatever you put your physical action and your mental action towards, Saturn is going to keep track and it's going to reward you. It's going to pull those receipts. And right now, Uranus or Aquarius is in Saturn, and it's saying, man, fuck the structure. Hey, Apple, to hell with your structure if it's not working for me. But Uranus could be telling some of y'all, okay, we're not going to do this the traditional way, but you need to create some type of structure. You need to have some type of discipline, right? Which means that we just can't not deal with things. We just can't sweep things under the rug, right? Because Aquarius is also in Venus. Right? Venus rules Libra and it rules Taurus. Libra's energy can sometimes tend to sweep things under the rug, right? That's where that out of balance comes into place. So it can sometimes tend to not really see the situation the way the situation is, but it wants to tell you how the situation is based on their own world that they've created, because Libra can be liars. That Libra energy can be very lion energy when it doesn't want to deal with things. Let's just be honest, okay? Now, so you have energy right now that's asking you to be open for the change, okay? It's asking you to be open for the change. We also have right now, when the moon switches over to Gemini at 11 tonight, let's just say 11:05 tonight, depending on where you are, you're going to find the energy where people want to communicate their feelings. You want to communicate your thoughts. You want to communicate where you are, your truth right now, right? Your truth about the relationship, your truth about the job, your truth about whatever the fuck it is on your mind, right? You're going to want to communicate that with the Gemini energy being in the moon. But you got to keep in mind where the placements are right now, right? With Mercury in Aries, if it's not, and Mercury is in Aries and Uranus is in Aries, which means I'm not really going to try to be hearing what you have to say if it's outdated and it's really not matching up my vibration. Like if it's not my vibration, I'm not really, I don't know if I want to sit and have this conversation. The beautiful thing about this 11th house energy from Uranus, though, is it can give you an opportunity for you to gain friends, or this energy is going to bring in an opportunity for you to release the friends, or the communities, or the situation, the conflicts that no longer works within where you're going. Right? And you have to be open to that change. What you can find is, like I said, some of your friendships are going to be challenged right now, right? That doesn't mean that people are going to disappear from your life forever. You may just not agree with where y'all at right now in this particular situation. And that's just what it is, right? So communication wise, you've got to be mindful. Where the placement is for communication right now is we're in Aries. So how people are communicating right now is from the aspect of Aries energy. It's the same thing where the sun is, which means it can be competitive energy. No, my idea is better. No, I don't think your ideas work. No, okay. Some people are going to be communicating from the fuck fight energy because it's survival mode for them. Some people are going to be communicating from the energy of, all right, I'm passionate about the idea you're bringing to the table. Okay, I'm passionate about this problem resolution that you bring forth. Let's move forward with it. Let's take action. Let's do it, right? Some people are going to be communicating from that aspect. Some people are just going to be communicating from a very low vibrational aspect because they want to argue and fight about everything. You have to decide where you're going to stand in this energy because this is where the energy is. So we're in energy right now when it comes to how people are communicative. It can be very argumentative. So you need to decide whether or not you want to be right, right? If is it important for you to be right in this situation? Is it important for you to just to get your, because this is the thing you're going to have to understand within this energy. Am I listening to respond, or am I listening to understand is what you're going to have to ask yourself in this energy. Am I listening to respond, or am I listening to understand? Because please know the energy is competitive, it's argumentative, it is conflict driven if you're not doing your work. It is also energy where you're going to have to equip yourself for spiritual warfare if people around you in your vicinity are not doing their work. Which, and spiritual warfare is simple. You don't really give a crap about people you don't care about, right? You don't give a crap about people's ideas or people's opinions if you don't care about them, right? So the people that you care about, especially if you're trying to do something different, their whispers, their limited thinking, their limited beliefs, right? This is where you would find yourself within this energy having to deal with some spiritual warfare. So be mindful not to share your ideas with everyone. Be mindful. I know when we were doing the 100 day journey last year, I talked about spaces and walls. So be mindful who you share your space with and who you're sharing walls with, right? So you go to work every day, you might have to share walls with that person that has that lower vibrational energy. But that doesn't necessarily mean that person has to infiltrate your space, your mental and emotional space. You may share the physical walls, but you don't have to share the mental and emotional space. So be mindful of that as you're moving throughout this energy, okay? Saturn is going to trigger you to maybe deal with some type of authority. Maybe you may need to be the authority in this situation where you take control of a situation, right? Or you may find that you're having to deal with some type of authority. For some people, this is going to, I don't know. I feel like somebody this has to do with parking tickets. I don't know why that's coming up, but for somebody this has to do with parking tickets, all right? And I kind of feel like you may be fighting the system of a parking ticket. You need to know that you got your evidence and you're good. Whoever that's for, that's for. Well, I feel like you have your evidence of how you should win this ticket and not have to pay, and you're good, right? Now, let me go to the next planet. Okay, so The next thing that you need to look out for as we're moving throughout this energy is the Jupiter in Pisces energy. Okay, we've been talking about this Jupiter in Pisces energy for a while now. This is where things are expanded, right? But not only where things are expanded, this is where you have to be mindful for illusions. I talked last week about perception. This is where you got to be really mindful about illusions and other people's perceptions. But I really feel like you have to give people the room, right? Within this Aquarian energy, you need to give people the room to create the reality in which they want to experience. That does not mean that they can infiltrate the experience that you want, but you need to be able to give people the space in this energy to create that reality, okay? Jupiter, because Jupiter is going to expand the fuckery, or it's going to expand the awareness. Whatever it is you're applying your awareness to in this energy, Jupiter is going to expand that experience for you. Pisces is supposed to be about you coming into a greater spiritual awareness. It's kind of like you've went through this whole wheel, or this whole 12-month cycle, right? From Aries season all the way to Pisces season. What have you learned? Have you grown? Right? Pisces season gives you an opportunity to apply all of the things that you've learned. And the question is, have you learned anything? That's the question. And if you have learned, are you applying them in your current situations? Listen, I'm going to sit and I'm going to make a prediction right now. In the next 10 years, and I don't even want to say 10 years, in the next 5 years, definitely in the next 10 years, what you're going to find is a lot of people are going to be tapping in more spiritually and coming to people like me to get grounded in what's happening in the world today, okay? You guys, whoever watches these videos, not just by myself, but from any spiritual teacher, and I'm talking about real spiritual teacher on any platform, and you're gaining any insight to how energy works, right? To how you can gain awareness and control and be responsible for you. You are way ahead of the game. This is not a joke. People are not doing well mentally. People are not doing well emotionally. Okay. And I keep stressing this. I can come on here and I can read these tarot cards. I can pull these cards out. I can get you guys in. I can tell you who's doing fuckery. I can tell you who's not doing fuckery. But at the end of the day, if you don't walk away from this channel learning and being equipped in how to deal with real life shit, right? Because everybody's affected by this energy. If you're not in a place where you're understanding how to deal with real life shit, it's not worth me getting on here. I have gotten 20,000 views, 10,000 views when I was doing videos about the fuckery. When I was doing consistently videos about just fuckery, what's going on, I was getting thousands and thousands of clicks. The minute I started to talk about being responsible and, helping yourself and healing yourself, a lot of people don't want to hear that because it's easy for you to point the finger and blame somebody else for what you're going through. When you need to understand, if you keep going through the same thing, you are the common denominator in these situations, which means the situations don't need to change, or the people in the situations don't need to change. You need to change. You need to change. So there's nobody here on this planet that is an adult that can say that they haven't done fuckery, or they haven't made mistakes, or they haven't, broken a heart, or they haven't. And I'm not meaning you intentionally meant to do this, right? This is not about intention. The universe does not judge you based on your mistake. It judges you based on your intent, right? But we all have some shortcomings and all have some things that we have to master. So anybody that you are listening to on any of these platforms, if they're not teaching you how to be self-sufficient and do this yourself, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to have a fucking problem. All right? I'm telling you right now. And I told you guys this a year and a half ago. Last year, I coined mental and emotional chess. You was going to have to learn how to play mental and emotional chess. It's not a game, right? Now, even if we're tapping into what's going on with the award show, right? Even if it was real, you can still see how that's mentally, somebody had a mental break, right? Even if it wasn't real from a spiritual standpoint of view, if you're watching and paying attention to rituals, what you can see there is that that was a ritual, right? And that's messing with people's mental psyche. That's letting you know that there's some type of mental break about to go down. So I'm just saying right now, okay, be mindful how to transit through this energy. We're in energy right now where the slightest little thing that you say can trigger somebody. The slightest thing somebody say can trigger you. And if you're not aware, you're not even going to remember that you even have that trigger there. Be mindful. This is not a joke. You wrestle not with flesh and blood, but you wrestle with principality and powers and high forces that you know not of. And this shit is it's not a joke. People are not doing emotionally and mentally well, but you can be ahead of the game by owning your emotions and owning your feelings, owning your shit, right? Okay, so let's see what else we got going on in these planets. I can't wait to get up into these cards this week. Seriously, I can't. All right, we also have Uranus sitting in Taurus. So we got Uranus sitting in your second house. Or we have Taurus sitting in... Uranus is in Taurus. So we got Uranus sitting in your second house, right? Now, Uranus brings in change and liberation. Taurus is responsible for your possessions, your money, okay? So we're talking about your livelihood. What you're going to be seeing with Uranus sitting in Taurus is that the way you make money, your livelihood, there's going to be change and liberation there. If you've been putting in the work, you can see that your finances and everything that you've been working on, you're going to see change starting to happen and change coming in, right? Remember, Aquarius energy is about community in groups. So you can see that your business is starting to go get better. You can see things are starting to go forth with your finances. Some of you may even start to see that the new ideas that you needed to make money are coming in with this energy. Okay, so be mindful of that. When we do the poll on Wednesday, and I'm not sure, definitely in Patreon, we're going to go over aspects. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get to go over the aspects tonight. I don't think I'm... Let me see what we got going on with aspects. There's too much aspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 strong aspects we got going on right now. And I'm not going to be able to get to those aspects tonight. We'll have to do that in Wednesdays, and we're going to include them in the poll. Okay. Yeah, the spiritual work is no joke, Taj. No, not everybody's not ready to do. And then you know what I'm noticing, Taj? Some people think they're doing the work and they not. Or some people are doing the work and you think that you've done and you've completed the work in that area, and then something happens to trigger you to let you know that baby, you still got work to do in this area. You still got work to do in this area. I went over a lot of Uranus's, aka Aquarian energy, tonight, because that's strongly what's going on in the planets right now. You have a lot of planets hovered right in that area. Okay, so you need to be mindful of that. That area brings in change. So if you have a path and you have a purpose and you've been asking the universe, right, to help with that, please know. And let me just tell you, so if you have a change and you have a purpose where love is concerned, and you've been asking the universe to help you in your love life, to help you get shit together as far as love is concerned, please know with Uranus, aka Aquarius, and Venus, that shit is going to change. And if the relationship that you're in, you know is stagnant and you're supposed to have been leaving and you haven't left yet, just know that Uranus is going to bring in some friction, okay, to stir things up, to get that change rolling, okay? But it can also work on the other hand. If you're deeply in love with somebody, but there's, you've been asking the universe for love and change, Uranus is going to come in and create something to stir up what needs to be stirred up within your current relationship to bring that change together, okay? But if it's not going to work and it's not supposed to work, more than likely when Uranus comes in, you can find relationships are going to be broken. This is not a season in that energy when it comes to love that you can't be friends with your partner. That's just not going to work in this energy. It's going to be too much conflicts, right? When it comes to Uranus being in Aquarius being in Mars, you're going to see problems with friendships. So you can see friendships going to a deeper level because friends are dealing with conflicts, right? But once again, right? Aquarian energy cannot want to deal with emotions. So maybe somebody's ready to talk about something, and then the next person, like, I'm not, you know what, I don't want to talk about that shit right now. I don't got, no, no, that's too mushy. I'm not really trying to do mushy right now. Okay. So you got to be mindful of that. Somebody could be avoiding the problem. Okay. Saturn is the same thing with Uranus. Okay. If it's too traditional and Uranus is saying that's not the path that we're in, you can find some conflict there. You're going to have to find new ways to do things. Now, Saturn's energy has a time where they just want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but you may need to keep the baby and then get some fresh bathwater, right? So be mindful, which means that you may not necessarily need to throw the relationship out, but you may need to fix the conflict in the relationship, or you may not necessarily need to throw the idea out. You may just need to tweak the idea to make things fit. Okay. So be mindful of that. And I can't stress again that Uranus is sitting in your money house, which means that the way that you've been making money, if you see it's not working or if you see it's not generating, that's more than likely telling you that some type of change is needed there. Okay. I'm going to quickly go into some of the aspects to see. Okay. So we have the sun in conjunction with Mercury, which when anything in astrology is, when you hear a conjunction, you can think about that's power, right? So the sun is in conjunction with Mercury, which means the sun is in Aries, Mercury is in Aries also. They're working together, right? So which means what you're showing outwardly to the world and what you're thinking, they're matching. Okay. Or what you want to do is show the world what you're thinking. Okay. Because right now you have that energy working for you where you can begin anew. Aries energy is all about new beginnings, but it's also about taking assertion and taking action. Or it could be all about you arguing, conflict, lower vibrational shit, dealing with fuckery. Okay. So you need to be mindful of that. There's power between the sun, or there's power between you showing the world who you are, or you communicating to the world who you are. There's energy right now where you can speak your truth or stand in your truth or stand in the new beginnings and watch it take shape. All right. Or there's power right now in you being able to take action towards the things that you want to get done. Right. You also have the sun in conjunction with Chiron, right? Chiron is in Aries. Hey, Sky. Chiron is in Aries, right? So keep it in mind once again, that's still first house energy, right? So Aries is mind, body, and being able to tap into your awareness. This is a sense of who you are, right? So you got the sun in conjunction with Chiron, and that's a lot of Aries energy. Again, that's Mars energy, being assertive, taking action, or shrinking back and dealing with fuck fight energy. Now, if you don't know what fuck fight energy is, let me explain that to you. Fuck fight energy is when someone just purposely tries to get you in an argument for you to respond. And when someone is purposely doing something to trigger you, right? When someone is purposely just poking at you, right? When someone wants to create argument just so you guys can have makeup sex. You understand what I'm saying? So fuck fight energy is someone that gets off, right, on arguing. It's never about the problem resolution. It's never about problem resolution. Never about problem resolution. It's always about keeping the argument going. There's always a need for that person to be right or to tell you how wrong you are. Okay. So you want to be mindful for that fuck fight energy in this atmosphere right now because it is prevalent. Okay. You do have the moon squaring Mars. All right. When something is squaring or when something is squared, you need to know that that's an obstacle. That's some type of opposition. So you need to be mindful of that, right? So the moon is squaring Mars. The moon is going over into Gemini, right? At about 11:05 tonight Eastern Standard Time, depending on where you are, right? And that's where some people could go. I want to say, I hear the word snap. I think with that square, with the moon squaring Mars, That's where I feel like people could snap, because that Aquarian energy is in Mars right now, and there's no emotional, like Aquarian energy, they feel very suffocated when it comes to emotions, and they can be emotionally detached, right? So with the moon squaring Mars, right? And then you have Uranus already in Mars, and Mars is already a planet that can be explosive and want to fight. And the moon is in Gemini, which should be all about communication, and you want to really explain things, and you need a deeper knowledge and a deeper understanding. Some people can feel for the next 2.5 days that I really don't want to talk about that shit. That's too much emotions. I don't want to go there. So you need to understand to let people have their space in this energy. And if you feel triggered and if you feel overly emotional, you need to pull back and ask yourself, why do you feel that way? This energy is an opportunity for you to stand in your truth, or for you to create new truths as you're moving throughout this energy. There's new beginnings here. Uranus is coming in to break those things up that don't work, okay? And I also want to say Mars is also in conjunction with Saturn. And that's important because Saturn is a planet that's known for concentration also. So if Mars is in conjunction with Saturn, that means anything you put your attention to, you can get the action, and you can get the vitality, or you can get the passion to get it done, right? But it also says that if there's any conflict that you need to deal with, right, to bring in order and for you to tap into your dignity and your integrity, you need to know that you have support where you can definitely lay some structure and lay some boundaries down and not feel bad about how someone feels about that, okay? Saturn is going to support the boundaries that you need to put in place, or it's going to support the discipline that you need to put in place. And Mars energy is going to reinforce that, okay? So you need to know that. Jupiter is also in conjunction with Neptune, right? That's important too. Jupiter expands things, right? Jupiter expands things. And Neptune is the planet where you can expand spiritually. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, right? But I want to say this to you. The Pisces energy, you need to know that sometimes Pisces can see what it wants to see, based on how they feel, right? Um, Pisces is also co-ruled by Jupiter, which means Jupiter's energy can expand lies and bullshit if that's what you choose to see, or if that's what you choose to expose to others. So let's just say this, right? If you started off something with a small lie just to not do something or to get away with something, right? With the energy right now where it is, you can find that your lie is going to be expanded. You need to know that, right? But because we have the moon in conjunction with the moon squaring um, um, Aries right now, right? What you need to know is when someone finds out that you lied, that can be a very fucking explosive situation, right? So you can find people that are lying and then get caught up in the lie, right? With that Pisces Neptune energy, right? So you're lying and you're caught up in the lie, but Neptune is going to come in and expose that lie. And because we're sitting in Mars energy, it may not really be well for you how this pan out, because that can be an explosive shit. And I want to say, depending on what the situation is, not only can it be explosive on the point of ruining friendships and stuff, it can be explosive on the point of people actually, doing physical harm to each other. So this is not the energy to play with people's emotions. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that in this energy. It's not the time to play with people's emotions, okay? Another thing that we have going on here is the moon is sextile to Jupiter, which means that it's an opportunity if the person has been doing their work and they're not in an illusion area, right? For this energy to work together. You can find that it's an opportunity for you to really expand your business, to expand your relationship to a next level, to expand whatever it is that you want. Now, keeping in mind, right, that Jupiter not only rules Sagittarius, but it also rules Pisces, right? So you can find also, if you want to travel with this expansion energy, you can find that travel is good. You can also find that if you're on your spiritual path with this energy too, there can be a deeper connection, or maybe even a deeper understanding, a deeper communication energy with this sextile, with Jupiter sextile and the moon. And I'm talking about once we transit over to Gemini. Gemini is known as the twins. That's kind of like the planet that has one foot in the physical world and one foot out of the spiritual world, you know? And you need to find a balance between both, right? Gemini energy is the energy, when you look at it from the tarot deck, it's the energy of the Lovers card, right? And when you're dealing with the energy of the Lovers card in the tarot deck, is about being versatile. It's about being able to be flexible, right? So you need to know that this energy is going to be a beautiful time for you to expand past what you normally do or what you normally know, okay? Remember, once again, we're in the year six. So this is year six. 2022 is a year of six, which means six, sex, sexy, anything. There's so many hidden codes within the word six. So you know, but let's just start with this. This controls your willpower. This controls your creative or your destructive power. Okay. You have the power to create, or you have the power to destroy in this energy. The question is, some things need to be destroyed before you can create. So what needs to be destroyed? What needs to be created? Right? All right, y'all. So I don't know if y'all have any questions before I jump off. We're not gonna Tina said her Virgo mother is trying to drink. Tina, let me explain something to you right now. With the Virgo energy too, there can be, if they're not doing their work, what you can find is a lot of overthinking, a lot of over analyzing, and it's going to be over analyzing from the point of their health and well being. Now, if they're obsessed with your life and your health and well being, it's going to be analyzing your life and how they feel like your life should be. Okay, and as a parent, you know, now, because Virgos rule sixth house energy, so that's the house of enemies, that's the house of sickness, that's the house of slaves, to old thinking, or being a slave to anything that keeps you bind. Okay. So yeah, and if you're not on a higher vibrational type of energy, you can really get stuck in the past energy. And you can find here in this Virgo energy too a lot of hypochondriac energy. You know, people that just see a commercial about some type of ailment and now they have it. So you can find that happening within the Virgo energy too, or maybe even wanting to project that on you. You know, you said you feel a way, and then now they just run down a whole list of things from the hypochondriac mind of what's going on with you. So just be mindful, right? Virgo's energy when the moon swap over to Gemini can be very critical and analytical about how your world should be run in the next 2.5 days. And if you are a Virgo, please know that that can be met with a lot of pushback. And I want to say, they're not going to be really pleasant in their response to things. So you need to be mindful of that. Okay. Did I break down all of the, I think I broke down everything, y'all. So the moon is sextile to Neptune and the moon is sextile to Jupiter. And what I'm hearing there is that all of that is Pisces, because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. So the moon is working with Pisces right now. And once again, Pisces can be full of illusion, but Pisces can also be the energy where you do your most overcoming, where you overcome the most. Okay. Pisces is also known for depression. So you want to watch this energy. Please, you want to watch this energy, okay? Because that Piscean energy, can keep you in a place of complacency, and it can keep you in a place where you're really depressed, but it's not showing up as depression. So you want to be mindful of that, okay? Pisces energy, or that house, is known as the house of bad spirits. It's a house where you can suffer if you don't understand how to be of service, okay? You need to learn how to be of service, okay? I'm live, baby. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to learn how to be of service. And sometimes it's not even being of service to other people, but it's being of service to yourself, right? Start with self-love. And self-love doesn't have anything to do with being a narcissist, by the way. I've explained that in a few videos, right? Self-love has to do with really being you from a healthy place. Knowing what you've had your full, knowing what you're, when you're being limited, not just by others, but by yourself. Knowing when to check yourself because you need to sit your ass down. Knowing when to check yourself because you're not walking in enough confidence. Self-love is about you having that inner voice communication with yourself when no one else is around, right? All right, my loves, let's see. Paulina said Libras are definitely liars. They are. Libras can create a reality that's not really there because they don't want to deal with shit. All right. Libras can create a reality that's not really there because they don't want to deal with anything. I think I pretty much got through all of my notes. All right. I don't know if y'all have any questions, but we're about to shut it on down. But I will be back on Wednesday. You are welcome, my love. I will be back on Wednesday doing the tarot poll. So we're gonna poll on Wednesday. And if you're part of the Patreon community, you're gonna have your private reading on Patreon on Wednesday also. I have a lot of new things coming to the channel. I just brought somebody on board to help me get it all organized. So in the next 2 weeks or so, you guys are gonna be seeing a lot of different things on my social media platform. And once I get it organized on that end, I will be bringing it forth to you guys. All right. Now, if you're interested in a personal reading from me, please feel free to reach out to me at the number 4, your inner voice at gmail.com. So the same name on the channel at gmail.com is how you can reach me. I am doing personal readings right now. The classes will be back soon. Right now, I'm only doing personal readings until I can get some things together behind the scenes to bring the classes back. So the classes and the new moon meditations will be back soon. Okay. What else? Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything, y'all. I think I'm gonna start putting up my reading list again because Leslie emailed me. They haven't been in there, so I'm gonna start putting that up again until you guys are able to click on the link. All right, my loves. Y'all know the deal. You got to be kind to yourself. You got to honor yourself. You got to love yourself. And I'm going to see y'all on Wednesday. Make sure you subscribe and set that notification button because we're going to get up in these cards on Wednesday, okay? All right, my loves. I love you guys. See you guys on Wednesday. Bye.